There she is, everybody. There she is. We did. Oh gosh, darn it! I'm just telling you, it has been a day. Okay, Ty. Let me see if I could adjust you like this. But if not, I might have you mess up your whole camera angle that you have perfectly put in place. All right, hold on. Oh, I can do it. Never mind. You're good. You're good.
I look so close, like it's right up on the screen.
Yep, that's how we're doing it. Right up close and personal. Hold on, I'll get you. I'll get you. You don't have to adjust nothing. I got you.
Okay.
I'll just get you on my end. There we go. There we go. Oh, get those hoops. Get those hoops.
Mhm.
Ty, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I know
No
I just
problem.
sort
It's
of
your time.
randomly reached out to you. Um, you're actually somebody I've been wanting to talk to for a while because I know you from Raina's stream and your opinions. I love that you're an opinionated person who's not afraid to share said opinions. And I feel like that's so, it's kind of a, it's something that's missing. I feel like
Yeah.
in today's society where people know damn well like they don't agree with something, but they're just gonna
Mhm.
say they agree with it because they don't want to be fired or they don't want people to attack them online or to be you know an ist, right? They don't want to be a racist or transphobist or the whole line, right? Like nobody wants to be that. Well, most people don't, but I don't know. Is that something that you've always been, just very outspoken person?
Yeah, most definitely. I have my own mind and I have my own opinions. I'm not necessarily going to be the person that's going to agree with everything because it's popular.
Right, right. Is that just how you were raised? Have you just like that? You're just instilled with this idea that no one's gonna tell you how to think or feel.
Well, yeah, I was kind of, raised that way. And honestly, I grew up around a lot of men. I
Mm,
never fit in with the ladies, and I was always into sports. So, just loving sports and naturally blended in with the fellas. It was like something that helped mold me into, who I am. It's just like I don't think I have masculine attributes, but from being around the fellas, you learn how to say what's on your mind.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I suppose you're right. What do you think it is about? So by you saying that, it almost suggests that women may be a little bit more demure and maybe a little bit more tight-lipped about what they really feeling. Do you agree with that sentiment?
To a certain degree, because we all have our own personalities.
Hmm.
Some of us are just firecrackers, no matter what type of environment you put us in. Just to be honest. But I think America in general needs to get comfortable with people agreeing to disagree.
Hmm.
Just because we disagree on something doesn't mean we have to be at each other's necks.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm.
and that I don't know how much you saw of the last segment we did, but I kind of feel that way about Dr. Umar. Are you familiar with Dr. Umar Johnson?
No, I have no idea who that is.
Well, he's a political activist. He says he's a African fundamentalist. And he kind of puts himself like he definitely he definitely talks shit. I like him. I like some of the things he says. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff he says. And that's touching on what we're just talking about. It's like you don't have to like everything someone says or agree with everything someone says to have a working relationship to whatever level that is, right? Whether it's just being a nice human being to a random nice human being or even your family members directly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what he was saying about I don't he was saying that Eminem could never be the goat of hip hop because he's white. And so we just did a whole segment on that. Like we just spent the last hour sort of going over that. And I don't know. Do you agree with that sentiment? Do you think that he's not? And I know that this is out of context, so we can go and watch that video of what he's saying, so you can kind of get a better context of what we're talking about. Because I know it's kind of unfair to. Why don't we do that? Are you okay with that? Just watching the video real quick and then commenting on it.
Hey, it's your show. Go for it.
I just I don't want I'm not trying to force you into a conversation you don't want to have or something, but it's let me see if I could just pull it up real quick because he definitely was. Give me 1 second.
No problem. Take your time.
I just had it. This is what's so crazy about it. I just had it up. Oh, here it is. Wait, is this it? Yeah. Okay. So wait a second. That's not the whole thing though. This is wild. How did I lose it? I'm so good at losing things.
No, I mean it's okay if you lost it. I definitely have an answer for you.
Please go ahead. We might as well just
Could he be what was the comment that you said?
the best of. Okay, here it is. Here's the video. I found it, and I do want to hear your opinion about it,
Okay.
but I do want you to see the video too. So let's show the video, and then we'll come back to it. Oh, it's not gonna look nice on the screen, but here we go. That's a very entertaining, very entertaining podcast.
Mm.
Okay, so now that you've sort of seen that, where are you sitting on it?
Well, he is very, very outspoken. I wouldn't go, I wouldn't have such an extreme response in something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
no, I wouldn't give him a kingship on something that belonged to us. It's ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We made it.
yeah,
Then
and
they come from New York. So, I mean, the last time I checked, in the beginning, it was always the blacks and the Puerto Ricans.
mm,
Hip hop's, it was always black and brown from the beginning. And it comes down to the b boys, to the breakers and the dancers. It was always black and brown.
mm,
So no, I would never, put him on the pinnacle. I would acknowledge his talent for sure, but I wouldn't say, hey, you're. Oh, excuse me. I wouldn't. I would definitely never say that he's the best of anything because he's right. It's our
mm.
culture. It belongs in us, and it's like when you consider America in general, what is it? What else are they going to take from us?
That's exactly what he says. He actually says that in a response.
It's our shit. Like, let
He's
us have something.
he was like, haven't they taken, hadn't they taken enough from us? I mean, he gets
Yeah.
pretty, he gets pretty, the thing that I'm not the biggest fan of Dr. Umar is that he's blatantly just prejudiced against whites. And, you
Yeah.
know, I don't have a problem with people feeling, black supremacy, white supremacy. That's your opinion. You can feel that
Mm.
all you want. I don't care. It's America. You can have your opinion about whatever you want. Doesn't mean I have to agree or even like it. But he he starts the retort by, "I want to address the Neanderthal nation." He's like,
Wow.
"My
That's
Caucasian people." It's hilarious, but it's also pretty prejudiced. It's pretty fucked
yeah.
up.
That was a little bit of a that was like a knee jerk reaction from him, and then some.
Yeah, I mean, he's very outspoken on that stuff, and
Hmm.
again, I don't have any problem with people being outspoken on what they believe in. That is what makes America awesome. However you want it, if you believe that America is awesome, but I happen to like America. I think it's better than some other options in the
Yeah.
world. So, okay, so sort of bringing it back to this, I kind of want to ask you, because this has been sort of this big discussion in hip hop community right now.
Hmm.
Um, you know, a lot of what I don't particularly agree with Dr. Umar, and but I do see what you guys are saying, and I don't know what it's like to be black, so I can't know what that is and know that kind of impact of what hip hop had on me as a black person. But I know
Hmm.
what it was as a suburban Latino kid, listening to fucking hip hop and what it did for me. I also grew up in the hood too. I have all kinds of a background. I grew up in the country hood and in the suburbs, so I've had a taste of it all, as they say. But um, the argument, using that argument of, if it was created by black culture, then no one other than black people can, or black and brown people can be the best at it. And then so the argument that I was proposing was that, does that apply to Michael Jordan and LeBron, since they are, overwhelmingly considered the GOAT, or the best at basketball, which was created by a white, and not just a white, a Canadian white, like, so, like, super white, like maple syrup white. All right, so I guess maple syrup's not white. Anyways, Canadian white. So uh, when you when you when you apply that same logic as
Hmm.
what Dr. Umar is proposing, what would you respond to that?
Well, I think they both have two totally different narratives.
Mm,
Hip hop and music is a representation of Black culture. It is Black culture at the end of the day, period.
mm,
I don't dislike white people or something. No, honestly, a lot of my better friends who actually treat me the best are Caucasian.
mm,
So I don't have a problem with, with black, sorry, with Caucasian people, but it's two different narratives. One is based upon a culture and a representation and a reflection of a people, and
mm.
the other dynamic is of athletic ability, sports.
But to think about it in that sense, I mean, there's been so much commentary on how big sports are on black and brown culture because it's seen as almost like a ticket out of a bad environment, and to the point where you have a movie like White Boys Can't Jump. Spike Lee made a whole movie about it, right?
Hmm.
So I do think that it is deeply ingrained within black culture, but I do see what you're saying that sports are is not necessarily black culture. Um, so it's kind of a different argument. I see what you're saying now, but I do
Right.
see it as something that has become a big part of black culture. And so I can see sort of it does resonate as an argument for me. How does that reflect off you that sports has become part of black culture?
That's a tough question to be able to answer.
I mean,
I'm
because
kind of, I'm kind of, I'm kind of simplistic. It's like at the end of the day, based upon physicality,
mhm.
when it comes to my people, we are always bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody. I don't care what sport it is. It can be one Black person in that sport. We always rise to the top.
It's
Even
so
Formula One, and that has nothing to do with physicality.
damn. Is there a black NASCAR driver who's like whooping ass right now?
Yeah, what is his name? He's a cute little guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Cute little guy.
Um,
Hold on, let me see. I can probably find him. That's tight. I didn't know. I don't follow sports or anything, so like
it just is what it is at the end of the day.
Bubba
We're
Wallace.
usually bigger, faster, and stronger. So when it comes to sports, most of the planet can't. They don't really. They can't really fuck with us. Just to be
I
blunt.
no, I mean I agree with that. I mean even ice skating. I just love that ice skating was it's like no matter what golf the like whitest game in this fucking in the world. Fucking Tiger Woods comes and cleans up shop. I love it. And that's a beautiful thing about it, and that I do believe should be celebrated. Like that is something that should be celebrated. That this entire group of people can be like physically just amazing when wanting to accomplish. Uh, so what
Oh,
is
his name is Lewis Hamilton.
you Lewis Taylor? Okay, I saw Bubba
Yeah,
something. What?
yeah. I think that's more of on the. I think it's like a different racing circuit,
Oh,
but I know
okay, Bubba
Formula.
Wallace. Okay,
Yeah,
so Bubba Wallace is NASCAR. You might be a different than
every time is undeniable. Every time.
when. Let's go. Hey, and that. So, do you think that that is a form of black supremacy?
No, I wouldn't say that's a form of black supremacy
Mm,
because we don't do anything to keep people out.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the difference between the two. When you use the word supremacy, it's usually offensive to other people. That means everybody else is invited except for our kind,
Mm.
or at least that's how I perceive it.
I got you. I got you. So
Yeah.
when you hear other rappers who are talking about, how that, and here's the thing, either like the Dr. Umar. Sorry, everything just went and just
That's
stopped for a
okay.
second. Dr. Umar, the thing is that he never even says anything about his talent, right? Like he just boils it down to white and black and that he can't be the best at it. And then you have other rappers who are like, well, listen, we don't really break it down like that because as musicians, we look at it as in the way, like, what does he have? What are they doing? Like Eminem definitely transcended hip hop.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
and,
he is great at what he does.
right,
Don't get
right,
me wrong. He is fantastic. I could never do what he does
right. Me
ever.
neither.
Not even on a good day.
Not even on the best day of my life, I don't have any what it takes. I'm not a rapper, but
He's talented. He's an undeniable talented.
mm,
But it's
Yeah,
just honestly, like I said, because of the representation of black people, who would never put him on that pedestal. It would definitely most likely, be someone who looks like us, or even a black Latino.
yeah. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
it,
It's usually going to be somebody of color, and I get where where he's coming from, but not to a point to where I'm just going to be blatantly racist about it.
Neanderthal nation. I thought
That's mean. That's taking it a little bit too
that
far.
shit is
You can
hilarious.
be opinionated without insulting people.
Right, right. And I think that he got so bombasted with people in his inbox and on his online. So many hip hop heads just came for him. And so I think he was very frustrated.
Yeah.
And there's a video, it's like a half-hour long video where he's talking about, and he even says that if a black person defends the idea of Eminem being the best, that they should be horse whipped. They should be taken out back and whipped.
Yeah, that's taking it too far.
Well, he uses this kind of language, right? Like he knows that it's very caustic language, and he knows what he's doing, right? Like
Yeah,
he
it's
knows
a part of his brand. He needs his
he
viewers. I
he
get it.
knows what he's doing.
Hmm.
And some people call him a race hustler. I'm not a fan of that word. I don't really like that idea of race
Hmm.
hustling. I think that he definitely believes what he's doing is a good thing, but I also do believe he is making a considerable amount of money off of what he's doing. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hmm.
But there are people who are sort of going into his background, and because he also said that Eminem's never done anything for the community, and then of course online came, they were like, hey, here's all the receipts, here's all the places that Marshall Mathers Foundation has donated to, and it's all these places in Detroit. And Detroit is, I mean, it is profoundly black and brown up there. So it's like all of this stuff, like millions of dollars have gone into building up a community. And then on the other side, Dr. Umar has been accepting donations for a school that for 10 years that has never been built. And they actually went to the building and were like, look,
Hmm.
there's nothing happening here. So he is people are, I don't want to, I'm not trying to tell people what he is. Like, go and check him out. I like Dr. Umar. Again, I'm a fan of what he says. I like that he has a lot to say on like relationships and what he says about family and stuff. So like to me that's where I resonate with him. But there's a lot of stuff I just don't agree with, and some people call him a scammer. I just think that he probably does believe exactly what he's saying, but he's also he also has to make a living, and if he is scamming people, then that's on him, man. That's a terrible thing. But he has done a lot of good. So what can you say?
Yeah, I
Uh,
mean, and then also, within the culture, everybody knows. It's like, if you're at a predominantly black school, I live in New Orleans. It's a city that's predominantly black.
mhm.
And every now and then, you'll have a white kid that'll pop up in the school. And he's usually from the hood. He's basically just one of us, but just a different color skin.
Mhm.
And a lot of times it's like, when the white kids come into the yard and they want to come play on the blacktop, there's a certain sentiment at hand. It's like, if you're going to be out here with us, there's a certain thing, that you can do and that you can't. Like if you go come out here and ball, you can talk whatever smack what you want, but you better not say that N word. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
only we can do that. We really shouldn't use it ourselves, but you get where I'm coming from. So it's like
Yeah.
when you're in a certain environment, there's always like a certain dynamic of I guess you could say social norms that take place in reference to how you behave.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Eminem is that you'll never hear a rap where he's saying, the N word.
Hmm.
Like you're never gonna hear him. There's no interview where he's saying it. There's no time and place where you're hearing Eminem recorded, at least, saying that and having nothing but the utmost respect to the culture, and by the way, being self-referential in the fact and understanding that he knows that he is a visitor here, not a resident, right? Like he is a visitor to a culture. Like he addresses that in his
Hmm.
music. So he's very aware that he's white and playing on he's playing on a black uh, uh,
Hmm.
venue. So like I've never seen Eminem, and again, I don't really think Eminem's the greatest, anyways. I like Nas, Biggie. Those were my top. Who are your top? Who are your top
That's
five?
where I love singers.
Oh,
Okay. I'm not really involved that much in the hip hop world. And when
but
I
you make
was,
hip hop beats.
it's instrumentals though. They don't have lyrics in it that some people find offensive.
Do you find
That's why I started making music. I got tired of turning on the radio and hearing some of the best beats, smeared with some of the worst words. And that's why I got into this. I was just like, I want to bop to that, but I don't necessarily agree with the message. Once again, I'm finding a way to agree to disagree without causing a ruckus.
Hmm. What,
Yeah.
you don't like bucket and a mop wop wop?
Well, what is that?
You don't know what wop is?
A bucket?
Bucket
Honey, I am
and
44. I'm
I'm
not 24.
I'm 40.
I don't know what that is.
I'm you don't know who Megan the Stallion or Cardi B is?
I don't really listen to that. If they have an
Ah.
instrumental or something that I can hear,
You got an
I'll rock
instrumental?
with that. But for the most part,
You
I
know,
like singers. I
you,
love singers.
yeah, are you Christian? If you want to talk about it, you don't have to talk about your religion
Yeah,
at all.
sure. I'm a believer. I believe in the Most High.
Okay,
I do
okay.
believe that there is a creator of all.
There you go.
But those of us who are not like, don't want to identify themselves as a certain something.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I'm totally with you. I'm with that. Like, I can acknowledge that there's some a creator. I
Hmm.
just don't like the perversion that man has done to the idea of said creator.
I can agree with that.
Um, I- I'm noticing that you know there is this movement, this reemergence of Christians, and also there's this big movement of people hating the Christians. You know what I mean? So like, there's this weird movement right now where there's a lot of people sort of embracing Christianity, and then obviously on the other side, there's a lot of people who are attacking it. I mean, geez, there was a group of Christians. There was like 100 Christians that were murdered. Where were they?
Oh, that happened in
Was that in
I
Africa?
think it was, yeah, it was in Africa. I
In
forget
the
what
Congo?
country it was. I read about it yesterday, but I forget about the location. I
But
think it was in Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. It was Nigeria. So Christians are coming under attack. In most places, I'm noticing that there's this sort of um, even my wife has sort of gone from, a fence sitter to like full on Christianity and
Mhm.
embracing her faith and stuff. I'm not that far into it, but it, I'm noticing that where, when you see all these attacks on Christianity, especially because you're seeing it coming from, even the music sector, like you have acts like Lil Nas X and Travis Scott, and these names might not mean anything to you, but they are mainstream artists who have, even like Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. Back in the day, there's this, but like right now, you're seeing this huge movement of satanic imagery. Sam Smith, another mainstream artist who've kind of come out with like devil horns and stuff like that. How does that strike you when you see that in the mainstream being someone of faith?
You have the right to choose.
Mm,
You have the power to choose. Once again, like I said, I'm not going to attack you because you're not a hardcore believer in Christ.
mm,
I respect your opinion. And people need to, I guess they need to become more aware, more enlightened of respecting others, the people's opinion. Like
mm,
the kids online went crazy when J.K. Rowling made some, I don't know exactly what it was that she said,
mm.
and then people stopped playing the video game or stopped streaming the video game that was made by a totally different group of creators because of what she said. But I'm just like, if she's a Christian woman, why isn't she given the same freedom to exercise her belief?
Yeah.
And she's also entitled to her opinion. Like I said, earlier when I first came to the screen, everybody has doesn't they don't necessarily don't have to agree with everything to be a part of the popular crowd. I respect her opinion, and I still respect her as a person. Just because she said something that was to the contrary that the general public didn't like doesn't mean that I'm just not going to, stop liking Harry Potter. I still like Harry Potter, and I have the video game, and I'm going to play it. And when I have some time, I'm going to stream it because I like the damn game.
Yo, that to me was like the weirdest stuff. Like, I however you are with the trans issues, which I kind of have an idea where you sit with it just from
Mm,
hanging out with you and streams and stuff. But like, she still made like this incredible world, and just because she said some things you don't agree with, now
mhm.
everyone's supposed to stop enjoying her creations. I mean, I kind of get it because when you think about it in the sense of like R. Kelly, right? Like,
Yeah, ooh, that's a oh my god. Ooh.
listen, I still dance in the name of love. Okay, I'm sorry, but I still believe I can fly. Okay, I don't care if it comes on at a wedding. I'm dancing. I don't care. Will I play it and support him? And every stream that is streamed goes into his pocket? No, but I mean, I'll listen to it on the radio. I'm sorry. I still like it. I don't know. Like, is there is
He's got some hits in this type of situation. I think you just like the art, not necessarily the man.
exactly R.
Do I
Kelly's a piece
support
of
the art?
shit.
Do I like the sound of it? I love
Mm,
it. It's some of the greatest songs that's ever been
the
released.
greatest, the
But do
greatest.
I agree with the man and his actions? No, I absolutely
Mm,
do not.
no, he's evil.
I don't even understand it. Why be so blessed and have such a blessed life and access to anything and almost anybody when it comes to women, but choose children? I don't understand that.
Well, I think you said it right there. You have access to anyone you want, and
Yeah.
eventually that loses its appeal. And then you start wanting more. And then, I mean, it's just how like these rich and powerful men or women, but mostly men, rich and powerful men, they get to a certain point where they have everything, and now it's time. I mean, like, why are these people with the Jeffrey Epstein thing? Like, why was Bill Clinton flying on the Lolita Express, when he's a known pedophile? It's like, why are these people in power want to do such horrible things to innocent people? I feel like it's they have everything and they want to take more. And what else can you do? Well, you can steal the innocence. There's some evil that goes on with it, but it's more. It's more because you always want more. That power hole never is filled. I don't know, but it is gross. Yeah, but
Yeah. Sometimes power corrupts.
I
Sometimes when people get it, they can't handle it.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, and it seems like it goes to their head, and then they
Yeah.
start thinking they can do whatever the hell they want,
Yeah,
and
they feel as if they're bigger than the law, and they feel as if there is nobody or no entity around that's going to bring them down.
yeah, yeah, it's strange, and man, I love R. Kelly. Wait a second, are you done talking about Eminem? Mike the Mad, welcome in. What we just were talking about we started moving on a little bit because we're the conversation shifting, but we spent like a whole like 2 hours on that. So if you want to check out the VOD, Mike the Mad, please do. We talk a lot about it, and it's great. But yeah, this idea of separating art from the artist, I think a lot of people have a hard time with it, and especially with J.K. Rowling. And it wasn't like she said like the most like off the wall shit, right? Like she wasn't sex trafficking or doing anything. Like she just is like, hey, maybe we should think about, you know, biological men competing with women in women's sports, and she was literally
Well,
sticking up for women.
yeah.
And so like it's weird that it was such a negative. I mean, I guess it's not weird considering the where we're at in the culture, but like, she is sticking up for biological women, a group of people, by the way, who have who have been severely marginalized
Hmm.
historically. Add color to that, and you got a whole intersection of intersectional trauma people are dealing with. So like, it's interesting that again, men, predominantly white men, are encroaching in women's spaces again. It's
Yeah, it's like, hey, we have something. It's like a lot of times when we show up, you don't want us to play in your little sandbox, so why can't we have ours? I
yeah.
mean, honestly, I'm
Mm,
a realist. You know how I am. Like
mm,
you said, you've already had experiences or conversations with me before. I agree with that.
mm.
A
Yeah.
man is a man. If you're walking around with testosterone and a ding dong, you're a goddamn man. All
Yeah.
right. You're
It's
always, and once again, when it comes to science and physicality, men are always going to be bigger, faster, and stronger than women.
mm,
It's science. It has nothing to do with sexuality. And I agree with her sticking up for women. I was like, hey, we're never going to be as fast as you, ever. This
mm,
is why we have two different leagues. And in every league, this is why men always usually run a mile a hell of a lot faster when compared to women, because we are not the same.
yeah.
So with that being said, I feel as if, biological men should not be competing with us in any capacity because we are scientifically not the same. We're not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, I know that you're a little bit more stringent on it, and I respect your opinion. Especially as a woman, like you seems like we would want to hear from biological women on this, but of course they are being silenced. They're being told that you're gatekeeping tampons.
What? What is that even?
I don't know. Gatekeeping tampons. You guys are
And then we don't even make as much money in professional sports as men do. So at the
not
end of the
even
day, if a
close.
woman wins a title, I want her to take whatever it is that she's allowed to receive in winnings
Yeah.
to go to her household to support her family.
Mm,
There's plenty of opportunities for men to monetize anything in the world of sports. And when you look at the dynamic of the dollar, when compared to women, the men's pot is always usually like what 10 to 100 times more than what women receive in the world of sports. I don't care what it is.
mm.
It's always more. So I'm like, yeah, can we have something? And I agree with her.
Yeah, yeah, and I do too. I do too. I agree that there should be like maybe just a separate league. Something. Like make it a little bit more fair. I even talked to somebody about like, hey, can they at least be the same size a little bit? Like, because you
No.
have people like Leah Thomas who are like, 10 foot tall, just mopping floors with young ladies, and it's like, oh man, like that's not even close to fair. But again, I see what you're saying, and
You
I'm
can identify whatever it is that you want. I don't
right,
believe in, discriminating against people or hurting
right.
people. And I would never mistreat anybody, whatever it is that I do believe. I don't have any problems with transsexuals.
Hmm,
But when it comes to sports, I believe there should always be a women's league and a men's league. And if you said if they want to do something else, well then go create a league that's something else.
hmm,
Maybe it could be the transsexual sports league of something, and you guys can run with that fairly, and do whatever it is that you want and compete against one another equally. But like I said, based upon science, it should be an equal competition. Like I
hmm.
would never want to see a woman in boxing going up against someone who is a biological man. I don't think anything about that would be fair.
What do you say to people when you start talking about separate leagues? When they start bringing up the whole separate but equal argument? When they start saying, like, well, this is what we did to black people and brown people. Like we subjugated them to in their own league. They could have their own league, but they could never mix with the whites. What do you say to people who bring that argument into it?
I don't really even know how to answer that question, but when it happened, there was nothing that was ever equal about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Especially back in the day when they were like so-called black schools. The schools were never of the same quality
Still are
of
not.
white schools. And when it came to like having the ability of simple supplies such as books and the necessities in the classroom, there was still always a need. So there was never anything separate or equal about it. And
Hmm.
I believe that a lot of the schools receive funding based upon the tax bracket of the area. So if an area is predominantly white, of course they're going to have much more money and a greater percentage of that tax dollar that's going to go to support and fund that school when compared to a black community.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something we still see right to this second. We are talking right now. Still neighborhoods, 60, 80 years, been fucking hood as shit, been ignored. Nobody's cared about it, overlooked for years now. And it's like still happening. It's fucking terrible. Uh, oh shit, I forgot what we were talking. Oh yeah, yeah. So in that argument, so that might be a false equivalency. I think that's maybe where you're heading with that. It might not be a great argument because it was such a different. I guess in my head, I would see it as not a great argument because you're, and this is hard for to say or hard for people to even wrap their head around. But you're born black, but you weren't
Hmm.
born cutting off your breast or cutting off your penis, right? Like you weren't born doing that, right? You were born with this specific genital or
Hmm.
genitalia. And I know gender is not it's not the same as sex or whatever fucking mental gymnastics people have just invented to sort of make all this make sense. I'm okay with pretending. That's fine. I can call you a woman, whatever. But there's never going to be a time when I'm like, you are a full woman and I believe that you are a woman. Like, that's never going to happen for me. I can call you a woman, but I'm never going to be like, she's hot and I'm trying to tap that or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's
Hmm.
not ever going to be that for me. Nader Tater. Don't mess with the alphabet mafia. Do not. I apparently do not. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess a false equivalency. It's not a great argument, but because it's not like people literally they say you could choose the gender you identify with. You did not choose to be black. I did not choose to be a fucking light skinned Latino, right? Like I didn't choose, like we none of us chose that. We were just born that. But to be able to sit there and be like, well, now I'm a woman. Oh my God. Have you seen the new Chappelle stand up?
No, I haven't. I don't even have Netflix anymore, to be
I know
honest.
Netflix sucked. We only got it for a month just for the Chappelle special. And we got the cheap shit too. We got the $6.99 special.
Yeah, yeah, I don't blame you. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah. So, oh my God, he goes right back into it. It's so good. And he just talks about he's like, what did he say? He's like, if I was a trans, he would be a trans woman if he had to go to prison, and then he would make him come and suck his woman dick, and like it was very funny. I'm sorry, I know that's appalling,
Have
but
you read that story that was online? It was highly publicized about a transsexual. It was a man identifying as a woman, and he got into some trouble in New Jersey, and they put him in a women's prison. Then shortly after, a large amount of women in the prison turned out pregnant. And then after the pregnancies, they had to move him out of the women's prison and put him into a male facility.
yes,
I'm just like, you can't have it both ways. Like this whole thing with the big old breasts and the big ding dong. You know, it's like at any time if you have the power to consent to start having heterosexual sex, then what are you then?
right,
You can't keep picking and choosing. You got to be one or the other. And a lot of times, usually, what I've seen at, just from my personal experience, I've always, had encounters with people who've just gone like all the way, just had the entire surgery and just
hmm,
had, like what do you call it, the transitional sexual organ thing. I don't know the
right,
proper
right,
proper word for it. Yeah, now
transitioning.
if that was the scenario, and if then I'll be like, okay, well, if
They,
it was a situation to where if I had to share a room with somebody and feel safe, I would feel safe with, I guess you could say, the woman who doesn't have a penis without being offensive in any type of way.
I see what you're saying. So this is the thing. Hey, Poppy, what's going on? Good to see you. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
there it is. Yeah, that's the article.
So Demi Minor, 27, has been transferred from New Jersey's only women's prison to a vulnerable housing unit at a men's facility. So they have been transferred out, but this is what happened. A transgender inmate has been transferred. Let me fix you real quick. This is bothering me. I'm just seeing your head here, and it's driving me nuts. There, come on now. There we go. Now we're in. Now we're in it. And let me fix this too. While we're at it, we might as well fix it now that I have access to this option. Come on. Yeah, I'm all my stuff's all rigged up here.
Yeah, take your time.
A transgender inmate has been transferred out of the only women's prison in New Jersey after impregnating two females. And this is not the only one. Wait, women can have a penis? Yes, Naders, you bigot. Come on. Pop it. I can't stay for long because of timing difference, but I was thinking of you and Raina the other day and hoped you were both well. Pop it, thank you so much. Much love to you, Pop it. I hope you're doing well. Demi Minor, 27, has been moved to the vulnerable housing unit at the Garden State Youth Correctional Facility, a prison for young adults ages 18 to 30, according to Dan Speranza confirmed there are 3 trans women housed in the youth facility's vulnerable housing unit, though the prison's general population houses only men. So this dude was in New Jersey. There was also another one in California. They're popping up everywhere right now. So there is some weird. There is some weirdness about biological men invading women's spaces, especially when you're coming down to a vulnerable population like women in prison. And of course, a dude is. You don't want to think this and you don't want to say it out loud, but there are people who are going to take advantage of this. And I'm not
Hmm.
saying that's what Demi Minor is doing, but I'm guessing that there is a good amount of people, because we're seeing so many cases, at least one or two of them are going and getting switched over for nefarious reasons. I'm not saying it's everybody. I'm not saying that's what it always is, but
I mean, I hear you because if anybody intentionally locked up a straight male in a women's prison, in the back of his head, he's going to be like, "Yes, please put me in that oasis right now." That's
because
where he's going to want to be.
because of course the vulnerable women's population, they're only around women, so if they're a straight woman and they're a straight dude, they're probably going to get up to some things. It's going to
Yeah.
happen, as we can see it happen.
Like there's vagina everywhere. A straight dude is gonna go nuts, and I promise you,
Right.
there would have been more than just two pregnant women. And I believe in that case with the women who were pregnant, I don't believe that that was the only isolated situation with just the two. It was probably 10
Probably, right? It was
or
probably
more,
a whole grip of people. He was just
an
making his
entire
round.
population of pussy everywhere. To just be blunt,
she she
everywhere.
she had a literal buffet to
Yeah,
choose from.
yeah. And I'm just like, look, bro, you can't have it both ways. If you're gonna choose to be a man who's transitioning into a woman, make sure you transition
All the
all the
way,
way.
baby. Right. And that's the one thing. Like, Dave Chappelle even said that, and you sort of had that same opinion. Is
Mhm.
you got to give it up to people who are actually out there cutting off their genitals like that. You are serious. Like,
Yeah.
you mean business. You you are not just saying it. You're not trying to get clout. You're not
Hmm.
trying to get likes online. You
Hmm.
mean business. And you know what? If someone is in that kind of pain to the point where they feel like they have to remove their body parts, then my
Hmm.
God, let them do it. Like, I don't care. Like, it's not my thing I have to live with. I mean, just
Yeah, and
let
it's
them
like
have.
and also when I consider safety,
Mm,
I'm gonna feel safe because now I feel as if this is a her.
yeah.
At any time, I don't think that she's gonna rape me. At
Right.
any time, I don't think that she's gonna overpower me and do something to me against my will because now that's a woman. I don't have a threat of a penis being there.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I I
Now
mean,
I feel
as much as
safe.
I can, yes.
I'll share a room with her before I share a room with somebody who has big old breasts and a big dick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, what if I say something to offend this person, and he or she or they decides that, okay, well, I don't like what you said to me, so as a punishment, I'm gonna, since I'm stronger than you and bigger than you naturally, I'm gonna hold you down, I'm gonna beat you up, and then I'm gonna rape you because I have the power to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting, and Nader's even hit on it. Mental health awareness. It's I feel like a lot of people who, I mean, people who are just switching without the actual surgery, which nothing wrong with it, but they are seeing that a lot of these people, it tends to be, especially young people, they tend
Hmm.
to be who want to transition and who identify as trans, tend
Hmm.
to be have mental disorders. They tend to be victims of sexual abuse. They tend to be have high levels of anxiety, have high levels of depression. So there is a very specific person who tends to be to transition. Now, is that everybody? No, of course not. But there is a trend that they're seeing, that this person doesn't necessarily want to be a girl or a boy or the opposite gender.
Hmm.
They're just fucked up and they just
It's
need
just
help.
traumatized. And
Yeah.
I understand that. There's a lot of people who are also, heterosexual and bisexual who have the same issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the thing.
Everybody's dealing with something, to be honest, just to kind of
Absolutely.
be like, general.
Right.
None of us are perfect.
No, except for
Mhm.
me, of course. But
Okay.
she said okay. All right, buddy. The suicide rate doesn't go down after transition, and I think that's one thing that the UK noticed, was that
Mhm.
because they changed their laws now, and they're just like, look, nobody under 18, nobody, like, just let's just wait, because their studies are showing that a lot of times these individuals, these young people, end up just being gay. And so you really are, you're sterilizing someone at an age that they are not even fully developed in. Their frontal temporal lobe, I don't know if I'm saying that right, isn't even fully developed.
It
You
isn't.
you have they're children. They're not allowed to get tattoos. They're not allowed to get fucking cigarettes. They're not allowed to buy booze. They're not allowed to drink. Are they not allowed to drive or vote or get lottery tickets? But children are allowed to cut off their genitals? It's a
I don't think that should be a thing because, as you mentioned, the human brain doesn't fully develop until the age of 25.
right.
So give them that time to decide. Like, I don't really want to be too outspoken about that because, I'm not trans. I
Yeah, I
don't have
know.
a desire to be trans, and
Right,
I've
right.
never understood why, if you're attracted to a woman, then just go date a woman. Why do all of this extra stuff? I don't really understand that.
Yeah, and me
There's
neither.
a lot of, there's a lot of conservative, queer, and bisexual people out there that are just like, conservative, and half of them you don't even know that they are until they tell you.
Right.
So
And you know what's interesting is if you're conservative and you're in these sort of quote unquote marginalized groups, uh, they tend to get a lot of hatred, like seeing people who I follow some gay conservatives and some black conservatives like I follow a lot of people of different races and genders and politics, like MSNBC and Fox News. I pay attention to all that stuff because it's important for me to understand the narrative that they're trying to shape and what I can do to go against it. But the God, where was that? Where were we just talking about? I'm sorry. I'm such a dork. I can't remember what we were just talking about.
I just basically said I didn't really want to be like too overly outspoken about the transgender community because I don't fully understand it.
Right, and I don't understand it either. And I was transitioning out of that topic into something else, and I just started talking about some bullshit that I can't.
Or you were just talking about, people with conservative behaviors and just
Yes,
conservative attitudes.
thank you.
I mean, when I grew up, you just are what you were.
Mm,
Nobody really never,
exactly.
really made too much of a fuss about it or made any wild announcements and flew flags and all this other stuff. If you had a girlfriend at home, you just had a girlfriend. It was nobody's business. Or if you're a dude, if you had a boyfriend at home, okay, that's your man.
Right.
Nobody was making, all of this noise, but I come from a different generation.
Mm. Yeah, and me too. Me too. Because we're about the same age. I'm a few years younger than you, but
Yeah.
not by much. I'm 40. Um, the we
We were just different, man.
yeah
We were okay to just be who we were. You
right.
know, and it's like nowadays people want to make these announcements. They want to have these, these grand du jour, whatever it is that you want to call it. And I'm just like, dude, just be you. At
Yeah,
the end of the day, it's not going to affect anybody that you work with. So
right.
people really don't. I don't even think people really care that much, to be honest.
I
I just
don't
think
either.
maybe it's just the internet making too much noise about sexuality and gender issues because some of us, we live our lives every day. We don't worship sex.
Yeah, yeah. It's not the only thing that matters.
Yeah, it's like I don't care who you're in the bed with at night. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, you do have a wife, but how is that affecting me at the end of the day?
right.
It's
Well,
not.
it's like when you start criticizing it, especially people like if like I follow some black conservatives who are constantly by people who are quote unquote liberals who are leaving raccoon emojis in their comments and saying just the most heinous stuff, being the most racist you could think of. Same goes for the gay community. If you're a gay conservative, you have tons of liberals coming after you, calling you just terrible slurs. um what do you think is what do you think drives people to n- like if you what do you think drives that, like where you see these marginalized conservatives sort of being attacked by people who are supposedly supposed to be so open-minded and accepting?
I mean, it's not about what you say at the end of the day, it's about what you do.
Mm.
So
So you're like
I don't
fuck 'em.
think these people are really thinking as well as they could.
Mhm.
Because as I mentioned maybe like 100 times already, if you respect people and their opinions, I think it's okay to agree to disagree without becoming violent.
Yeah,
I'm kind of simple, man. I'm simple and to the
I
point.
feel you. I feel, and I appreciate that. It's like because I'm guessing you don't sit around all day letting these sort of issues sort of take you over and consume your mind all day. Like,
And I just respect people's differences.
mhm.
And I understand that not everybody's going to agree with me, and I'm not perfect. I know some things, but I don't know everything, and I'm also okay with that too.
Yeah, that's
So it's
beautiful.
like, if someone has a very, very strong opinion about something, if I don't agree with that, with him or her on that one topic, but agree with them with everything else, I'm not going to just, stop listening to this person or stop following them just because, we can't see eye to eye on that one thing.
That one thing you
That one
just.
thing.
All right, so I think we're talking a lot about culture and stuff. What about music? We should talk about your music. Like, tell me. It seems like now I'm assuming, and we all know what they say about assuming and assumptions, but you seem like someone that came into making music later in life. Is that true, or do I got that wrong?
No, you got it right.
Tell me when you started doing music and why.
At 38.
Wow, 38. You've only been doing this for 6 years.
Yeah, I
Damn,
was
and you.
prior Air Force police, and I've always spent most of my life protecting military bases. I did that for 20 years of my life.
Wow.
And during that time, it was always such an easy job. But the people that I worked with were so toxic. They
Mm,
always kind of, had this premise as if I should be bigger than what I am, or I should be more or doing more than what I'm currently doing. And since I'm not in a position to feel that way, I'm going to come to work and make everybody else miserable. And I'm just like, hey, if you wanted to be a big badass, why don't you just go to the damn police department? They love military police.
right.
These are jobs that we just walk into.
Mm,
When there's openings for anything having to do with military police, police department, or security of any kind, whether it be federal sites or civilian sites, we don't show up for interviews. We show up for jobs.
mm,
We show up, we get a uniform, and we start work. That's typically how that always works, because we have the proper training. And hell, I'm even SWAT team certified. So,
whoa.
with that being said, we're just people. We just show up for jobs, and I don't want to spend too much time about that because it made me bitter. You know how it is. Like, once you realize you're sipping the poison in the tea,
Yeah.
you don't want to, like, stay in that mind state. But I was just like, yo, I don't like my job. It's like the job is easy, but the people that I'm always getting stuck with are always so getting toxic. And I
Mm,
just never understood it. And I was like, hey, we need something else to focus on besides, being miserable.
yeah.
And I just chose art. And at the time when I chose it, there was something called the Post 9/11 Fund that was available for veterans.
Mm.
And what it was, it would pay for you to get a certificate in anything that you wanted for up to a year. So I chose to go to the Berkeley College of Music because I was like, hey, I love music and I really like clean music. And whether it
Oh.
be like, whether it was like R&B that was getting a little bit too saucy, or the hip hop that was being a little, too nasty, I was just like, I really, really love music, but I really do appreciate clean music because
Mm.
I think it's calming, and I also find it to be healing. And that was something that I always turned to on those days when I really, really, really didn't want to go to work and deal with these toxic people on the job. So that's how I found balance.
Mm.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you just had a deep appreciation for music, and you just you were like, I'm just gonna try it, like, like, because like it's interesting to me that you were like, hey, I'm just gonna go to music school. I mean, have you ever had any background in music in any point in your life?
No, the music was just always a part of the household growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My mom was sort of like an international DJ. We would listen to
Oh,
everything, no specific dynamic. I mean, no specific genre.
genre. Yeah.
We would listen to everything throughout the week.
Oh.
And also on Sundays, we would always like wake up first thing in the morning because Sundays was always the day to clean.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. She froze a little. I don't know if you can hear me, but that's okay. We'll wait for you to come back to us. But that's funny because that seems to be like a big tradition in a lot of households. Whereas like Sunday is the day to clean and listen to music. That was what our Sunday was yesterday. It was just listening to music all day and cooking, and we had a great meal. Naders, you better get out there, bud. Get some night shoots in. Get those night shots in, baby. Okay, I'm gonna have her come back. I'm gonna get her out of here for. There you go, everybody. Let me talk to her real quick. Come back to us, Ty. Come back to us. Rejoin. No, there we go. And then we'll let her Let me see. Uh, Inbox. I got a dry fire laser bullet for my 40. What's a dry fire laser bullet? Oh, is that those that's what Raina was gonna get me. And it's like, does it hook to your phone? And you like you can set it up around the place and there's like little targets and you put your phone near it and stuff. I wanted to get that. Yeah, a Strikeman dry fire laser training. Okay, let me talk to Ty. It loads into your gun. Yeah, yeah, that's just tight. I was gonna get one of those too, but I don't know what happened. Raina decided not to. You're good. You're good. Jump back in anytime. Ty, whenever you're ready, come back to us. Come back to us, Ty. Come back to us. um, no, the Sunday fun day cleaning day. That I wish that was part of my household's tradition, but we never had that. That was never us. I'm guessing it's Cox. Damn you, Cox! We gotta talk. Okay, Ty, if you are, let me know if you are having, if you're having technical difficulties, and that's fine if you are. Jump back in if you can, because I do want to talk about Ty's music, because Ty is a fantastic beat maker. If you were here at the beginning of the show, you would hear what I am talking about. But she has a huge collection of music that you can buy and oh my gosh, I want to talk to you about all that. That's where we were going. I was just like, oh, let's just talk about social issues. Not talk about music. That's stuff I was interested in. Yay! Ty's back, everybody. This is me talking. Are you going? You going phone?
Yeah, because the
Internet took
mobile thing isn't being cooperative. I mean, the PC. I don't know what's
no
going on.
worries. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Going to the phone. I really do. All right, let's get back into it because our guest is back, and I really appreciate you making it work. Let me fix you up over on my end here.
It's probably not the greatest angle, but it'll have to do for now.
It's totally fine. I just appreciate that you were like came back to us.
Yeah, man, it's a good chat. I'm kind of a talkative introvert, so I don't really have an opportunity or get the chance to have many intellectual conversations with people.
Well, if you're looking for intellect, you're in the wrong place. But if
Well,
you,
hey, you're smart enough for me, so how about that?
oh, I appreciate it. Uh,
High
oh my, yeah, boom, boom. All right, so yeah, so it's funny that you're saying that you guys grew up in a household where Sunday was cleaning day and you just listen to
five.
music all day. It's like it's kind of a tradition my wife grew up in. And we do that here too. Yesterday was just a full day of us cooking and just listening to music all day, listening to records and stuff. So I love that.
Mhm.
I love that it was a part of your life like that. So you were just a music advocate. You just love music and you're a consumer of music, and you were just like, man, I want to try doing this. I am so impressed that you have such a huge catalog of music, and you're doing so well in such a short amount of time. I just absolutely love that. So you just decided to start doing music, sort of because you're just trying to figure out what you wanted to do with your life. Is that what it was? Is that what you said?
Oh, well, to be honest, I was so miserable with my working life. I needed
Yes.
something positive to focus on, and
Yes.
I needed an outlet to make me feel good.
Yes. Okay. That
Yeah.
is so interesting that you made that music is your hobby. Some people take up, like archery or something, right? But like music is
Mhm.
such a specific thing. So where did you start? Like coming into it as a 30-year-old woman
Mhm.
who's done, military policing for a big portion of her life. How did you approach it? Like what was the first step you did?
Well, music was always a part of my life.
Yeah.
Usually, if I wasn't cleaning up on Sundays, if I was out and about riding my bicycle as a kid, I would always have, like, the old school Walkman in my tape
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
on my hip with a pair of headphones, just pedaling away when I didn't have company because I grew up as an only child. I didn't have any
Mm.
siblings until I turned 17.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so if the neighbors weren't available to come out and play with me, I was still going to go on an adventure or a journey, either on my bicycle or my roller skate. So
Yeah.
it was just always like, a feel good, therapeutic thing to do as
But
a child, just to run up. And my aunt was a DJ as well. So
oh,
we always had, like,
and this is all in New Orleans, NOLA.
yeah,
NOLA. Cool. That I mean, and by the way, I mean like if anybody doesn't know, and it's impossible not to know, but New Orleans has their own uh, culture of music in itself. So to be from such a musical place is, I mean, that's in its own. It's, I mean, it's in your blood. It's just, it is a part of who you are. It's your environment. It's your household. It's who you are. It's your spirit. But what was your approach to like start making music? Like, because again, it's such an interesting hobby to just sort of take up. So like where did you start besides Berkeley? Like the physical like where did you start when it was like I want to make a beat? Where did you start there?
it was actually at Berkeley.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was just a good opportunity and it was free. And I was just like, I can go to one of the best college schools in the
Mhm.
country for free. I just took full advantage of it.
Uh-huh. So
And when I went,
you just started from the beginning. You just started taking like theory and like production and all that stuff.
yeah, I didn't take theory. I just went straight into production. The course I chose, I think it was called electronic music production.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. I didn't know they
Yeah.
would offer such a thing. I Please go ahead.
Yeah, it was a 1 year certificate program.
Oh,
And
okay.
like I said, sometimes when I would just be out and about, and also, every now and then when I would have free time, I would also love joyriding in my car.
Mhm.
And of course, when you're joyriding, you're going to put in your favorite tunes and just vibe.
Right.
And that's where it came from. And I was just like, look, I can't, keep mentally imprisoning myself because I hate my fucking job. I need something, that's joyful. And I
Yeah.
got tired of being in a situation of where, it's like I'm swimming in money because it's one of those type of environments to where turnover is high
Yeah.
because of the toxicity. And I'm
Right.
just like, I have plenty of money. I'm swimming in money, but I'm miserable. I'm just like, why is this my life?
Right.
Yes, I was like, let's create some balance and enjoy our lives because we're only going to be here one time. And I
Right.
was just like, every time that I'm in the best of moods and when I'm most productive, there's always music playing in the background.
Hmm. So it was a
And
natural
what really
progression.
pushed me to make music was I got tired of like all of the bad content. Like I said, whether it be both in R&B and rap,
Hmm.
I got tired of the R&B being a little bit too nasty, and the rap just flat out being too filthy.
I
I was
love.
like, man, shit, butts wet wide open. And then if you're babysitting and you got kids in the back seat, you want to protect the little ears just a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to hear this. I was like, I don't want this kid here in the back seat listening to some song about some woman getting her, bust wide open or whatever the hell the song was saying. I just wanted to hear some clean content,
Bust wide open.
something that you can relax and you can vibe. And if you play instrumental, it's up to the person to interpret
Mm.
whatever it is that they're hearing. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Totally. Totally.
Yeah.
I started out as an instrumentalist and just doing instrumental music. I completely I am 100% on board with what you're saying because that's exactly what it was for me. Was instrumental music was always like a, there was no parameters to it. It could be whatever you wanted it to be. It wasn't like someone singing at you telling you exactly what the song is. It's like it's your interpretation. So it was always like a sense of freedom to me, and especially making music like that. So you make
Mhm.
instrumentals. Do you also sell your beats and stuff? Do you put them online and stuff to
You know
sell?
what I have? I have not, but I have sold beats through Instagram through a DM. Like if somebody really, really likes something, they'll just send me a DM
Mm.
and I'll sell it to them just like that, peer to peer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're literally just making music just because it's fun for you and you want something to vibe to and you just want to put something out. You weren't really thinking. Do you want to make it a career? Is it something that you want to like be able to do full time?
Well, you're right about that. When I started out, it was just for, like peace and enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me, creating peace and sharing it with other people who also needed it and
Mm,
wanted to hear it.
mm, yeah, that's
And I did create an LLC last year
uh-huh.
because opportunities kept falling into my lap. People, I notice when I'm consistent, people will send me a DM wanting me to do things, or they
Hmm.
may send me a DM, for the purchase of a beat. So with that being said, I was like, okay, well, there's money coming in now, and I never really intended to make money off of this. So with that being said, let me create an LLC and try to maximize the opportunity that I have available because the military did pay for the schooling
Hmm.
as well as the instruments that I have here.
Hmm.
They paid for the software and the DAW. I basically have a whole studio here
Yeah.
in this room that was given to me. It was handed to me by the
Right.
U.S. Air Force, and I'm grateful for it. So with that being said, I was like, let me go ahead and take advantage. Now, 2023 was a little bit of an ass kicker. I was having trouble staying employed and keeping work. So
Um.
instead of focusing on the music, I was basically just, scrambling here and
Mm.
there, trying to make ends meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 It was. It's a
Yeah.
tough year.
So
So you're not military MP anymore. You're nothing to do with them anymore.
no, I retired from that industry in 2019.
Oh, that's cool.
20
And you were
years
able to
ago.
retire, huh? Because you were in there for 20 years.
20 years was enough.
Yeah, yeah, and thank you, by the way. Thank you. We
You're
appreciate you.
welcome.
We appreciate here on the We Speak English Good podcast. We appreciate our military. Um, that's a. I just love that. I just love the idea that you're just like I'm just doing it because it's something that I like doing, and which I know that's what everybody is, but to be to decide at 38 that that was your outlet, I just think it's beautiful. And I mean, as a musician who's been doing this my whole life, to hear that with someone who is like well into their like Ziggy, welcome in, thank you so much for being here, you did make it.
Yeah, man, I forgot you play the guitar.
Huh?
I said, I forgot you play the guitar and the keys beautifully. How could I forget that?
Oh, I because I run my mouth too much. It's easy for people to forget that, that I do things. But Ziggy, thank you so much for being here. It's good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well, and I know it's early for you, so I appreciate you making it.
That's
Jim,
Ziggy. I wish I could see the chat.
oh, didn't you have the? I thought you had the stream open. You could,
No,
you
okay,
could.
it looks like my internet is back up on the computer.
Hey. Oh, happy New Year. Yeah, happy New Year to you too, Ziggy. So then what what would be your next step then if you wanted to go full in and try to I know you got your LLC. Have you thought about putting your beats up on different websites where people can go through and look through them and to buy? Like, have you done anything like that?
Yeah, I just signed up with Airbit last week.
Okay.
Yeah, with it being the holidays and everything and trying to juggle work, I haven't had the opportunity to upload beats yet. But if I'm lucky, I should be able to do that next week.
Do you know how many beats you actually have in your repertoire?
49?
Wow, that's pretty good. That's a good start. That is a really good start. Now, do you mix and master your beats yourself?
I do. Hey, is it okay if I switch?
Absolutely. Jump out and jump back in. All right, we're gonna be right back with Ty. We'll ask more about. I forgot what I just was gonna ask her. What did I ask her? What was I gonna ask her? Fudgesicles. I forgot what I was gonna ask her, guys. I'm such a fucking tool bag sometimes. I still have you. Ooh, there we go. Good.
Oh, there's an echo.
And we're
Sorry
back.
about that.
Oh, you're totally fine. We're here to have fun. We don't care if things fail on us. Life's too. Oh my gosh! Come on, what am I doing? See, look at me. Look at me. Straight to sucking. Oh, okay. Let me get you. Let me get you taken care of again. Here, we had some.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get your chat back on to my phone so I can talk to people too.
There it is. There we go. Boom. Miss Pac-Man is in the shot. Um,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah, I love that you have a whole Miss Pac-Man thing too. So, when you left military police, was it ever has it ever been a thought of you like trying to go all music? Has that been something that you wanted to do?
On a full-time basis, no,
No.
because
Wow.
of the lack of stability.
Oh
I
yeah.
like a stable lifestyle. I'm so sorry. I'm one of these people. I believe in safety.
I believe in safety. You know what? And to that, I say things like the pandemic can happen, where people
Hmm.
people think that they have a solid job and a pension waiting for them, and then
Hmm.
all of a sudden you don't.
Rug pull.
So that's what I say. Being an artist is like just wait. You're just always waiting for the pandemic to strike.
For me, honestly, it would have to be a smooth transition. I'm just not one of those people who's going to leap and not have a safety net, especially after having a year like 2023 where I spent most of the year being unemployed and barely making enough to keep a roof over my head. Oh my God.
What?
I've never been in that situation before,
Yeah,
ever.
yeah, you don't seem like someone who has been. Like you seem like you have your shit all in one sock. So like what
It usually is.
I'm just curious, what was it that kept you so unemployed? Like it seems like, I mean, you retired from the military. I mean, you're like gold to an employer.
Now, people want experience, whether you have 20 years of whatever
Hmm.
and a master's degree. I have two bachelors and a master's and
Damn.
seem to be unemployable. And I'm just like, honey, college don't work. These people, if they're smart, if they're listening, you better go get your damn trade and make you some money.
Two bachelors and a master's?
Yeah, and it just doesn't seem to matter. People want experience. So if you're transitioning from one field into something new, it's going to be difficult.
That's interesting because I was just reading about how a lot of companies are about to drop bachelor's degree as a requirement.
Hmm.
And I think, a lot of people, and I've been saying this for a long time, and a lot of people don't like it. I say it sometimes, but
Hmm.
that's okay. I say things that a lot of people don't like, anyways. Uh, but saying, like, if unless you're gonna be a fucking doctor or a lawyer or an engineer, like, it's not really a huge reason to go to college anymore. And now that companies are going to start just not having that be a requirement to work at their company, like, who the hell wants to go to college? Like, I couldn't imagine sending, like, we homeschool our child, and like, I know it's not college, but like, I couldn't imagine sending my kid to school, to regular ass school right now, because of how fucking crazy it is in school. How people like, and I live in Ohio, and we're
Hmm.
pretty. Ohio's pretty. Although we did just have a bill that got vetoed by our governor that people are very upset about, which I don't think is a bad thing. But anyways, we're pretty red, so like we there's not a lot of tolerance of you know of crime and all that stuff. So like um we tend to, the hell was that? Again, I just forgot where I was going. So, what were we just talking about? I'm so
You were
sorry.
talking about there's not a lot of tolerance for something in your state because it's red.
It's a red state, and but I forgot what I was talking about.
Well,
I
you also talked about homeschooling your kid because
Oh
things
yeah,
are so
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. School, yeah. So like when you see, thank you so much.
Welcome.
You might as well be the host. Uh, I've been eating edibles. I'm not gonna lie. I've been eating a lot of edibles, so my brain's not functioning at 100%. But I haven't eaten edibles today, so there you go. But but yeah, like I wouldn't want to send my kid to school, and if I was somebody about to send my kid to college, I wouldn't want to send them to these crazy colleges where you just see people, a bunch of blue hairs yelling at people and trying to tell people how to think. And when again, your frontal lobe is not even fully developed, and you think you know everything. I think that's just being young. But still, it's like I couldn't imagine wanting to send my kids to any of these schools right now,
Hmm.
pay exorbitant amounts of money, and just for them to come back to call you, like, you're the patriarchy, and that you're evil. And it's like, it's almost like they want to separate a loyalty from family and friends to uh now I'm getting conspiratorial, but it does feel like there is this sort of um there's this feeling of eliminating loyalty to family and friends and community, and giving loyalty to the state. And one of the, like in California or in Washington, And I know we already talked about this, but like if you want to transition as a kid, they're a sanctuary state. You can, like, if you live in Ohio, you can travel to Washington and they will give you a transition you as a child. Um, that seems to be that seems to be a little bit of overreach by our government, and to have that be um touted as being progressive, where you're turning your back on your family and your community so you can go and, go do this thing that you're not even mentally prepared for. To me that seems to be a little bit much in this world. Man, that was a lot, and I'm still not even knowing where I'm going with this. God, I suck at this
Mm, I'm
sometimes.
following you just fine. It's just,
Okay.
I do agree with that. It's up to, I think it's up to the parents to raise their kid. I don't
Exactly.
think I would be comfortable with somebody from the outside telling me that it's okay for my child to transition into something else without my permission. Like, it's my child.
Right.
Where
Right.
do you find your boundaries?
Yeah, and so like just I couldn't even imagine sending my kid to college for them to go off and be, indoctrinated into, a state sanctioned way of thinking. Like, I don't know, I just have a big mistrust for government, and I think most thinking people do, because we know what happens when government gets too much power. It turns into, tyranny. So I don't know. To me, it feels like a concerted effort to just make things to divide. That's all. I just feel like there's this division that's an intentional division in in America, especially, that seems to be coming from the highest positions of power and corporations and social media, and it all seems to be this one narrative, and then to speak out against it, you're an other and you're an ist, and so yeah, it's kind of a weird time to be alive, but it's kind of fun to navigate.
No, I agree with you because if I had children, I wouldn't want them in these crazy schools either.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. And if it's not dangerous, you have the teachers that are having sex with the goddamn kids. And I'm just like, what is going on with your mental capacity? If you're in your damn 30s, well established, and have a good education and a good job, and you're sleeping with a teenager, you goddamn kidding me?
Well,
What is the problem?
that's
And then every time I see that, there's always a good looking woman. And I'm just like, you're good looking and you have your life together. Why are you sleeping with this little boy? Why?
mental health is
And you want me to send my kids to that? Absolutely not. Why? So
no.
I can show up and beat up the teacher? Because I absolutely would.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And it's like I just I don't know how we're gonna deal with college. I don't know how long this is gonna last. I feel like it's a wave, I don't know. Do you feel like it's intentional, this division that this country is seeing? Do you feel like it's something that's being sort of put out there on purpose?
I agree with you. I think the 1% is controlling everything.
Oh shit, here we go. You
The
conspiracy
1% of the
theorists.
wealth is controlling everything.
Yeah.
We're just little puppets on the strings.
Yeah, the cogs in the machine that just
Mhm.
they yeah. No, it's a weird time, but yeah, and it's funny when you think about it. It's like these college institutions that are training these teachers to go out and teach your kids in public spaces.
Mhm.
It's this cycle. It's a cycle that just keeps going, and you know, I saw when I was in college. I was in college in the mid 2000s, and I saw, I was very much into that whole movement, this whole idea of the patriarchy and white supremacy, which, I'm still there. Like I still see it, and, I can still understand it. Um, this idea that everything has to be based on everybody needs to be judged on color of their skin. Everybody needs to be judged on gender. Everybody needs to be judged, like no, like content of character is nowhere in any of this shit anymore. It's just like
Right.
everybody, it's just all surface value stuff. And to me, it
Mhm.
just seems so, it seems like we're going backwards. But
In a sense.
in the guise of being progressive, we're being we're going backwards, where we're starting to judge everyone for color of skin and not content of character, which is the complete opposite of that one guy who said really smart things about this topic. So I don't know. Anyways, so with the beat, I saw the other day you posted something. Your beat had like a bunch of plays or something. You had like 50 million plays or something. Like didn't you post something on Instagram?
Yeah, it was like a song that I did from 3 years ago. You know, like when you first start making beats,
Mm-hmm.
and those are not necessarily your best beats, it's not your best music, but apparently people liked it,
Yeah.
and they went 56 million streams, and I got paid for it.
Damn. Do you mind saying how much you got for that? For 59
For
million?
that, $530. I think it should have been more, but
Absolutely.
I didn't put any effort into promoting it. There was no marketing. The only thing I did was just post it, and that
Yeah.
was it.
And what platform was that?
Actually, Facebook paid out. I did well on socials. I don't have a presence on streaming like
Hmm.
Spotify and Tidal or anything like that.
Yeah.
It came from social media, and Facebook
Yeah.
also owns Instagram. So just from posting there on those two sites got me the traction, and it also got me paid.
Wow. I was just talking about this. Like this is a huge money. No, I'm not huge, but like another form of income musicians can do is if
Hmm.
you are a content creator, meaning that you create videos for social media of any type, and you also are a musician who has music out that you
Hmm.
put out, use your own music in your own content always. And like I've had a couple videos that sort of went viral, and
Nice.
I didn't get shit from YouTube, because I'm not monetized on YouTube yet. But I didn't get shit from I didn't get shit from that, but I got paid out from sync, my sync licensing. And so the 200 or 400,000 or a million plays that I got on the
Hmm.
video also counts as plays for your music.
Yep.
So the one video that I ended up making like 300 bucks off of, it was off of just some stupid video I did of Jim Morrison, and did really well on YouTube and a lot of plays. And it seems like YouTube pays the best for sync, and Facebook or Meta, they seem to pay the best. Tell you who doesn't pay worth a shit: TikTok,
Hmm.
damn Chinese
I mean,
trying.
whether people like it or not, Facebook is still a major player when it comes
Mhm.
to earning revenue from ads.
Yeah,
That's where the money is. People don't use the platform much anymore because grandma and pop pop is on the site now. That's why kind of what folks stayed away. But people who truly want to make money might want to consider it.
yeah,
They're still number one when it comes to earning revenue.
yeah. So I mean, it's just you gotta. The interesting thing about being a musician these days is that there's so many different opportunities to make money. So, I
Hmm.
mean, the internet has made it so possible for people to be full-time musicians just sitting at home making music. Like they don't have to tour, they don't have to go out and play gigs for people in bars or venues or anything. They can just sit home and make music and make money. And there's just so many different ways to do it now that technology has allowed it. Um,
Yeah, I like that, and I'm also going to take advantage of it as well. I started working with the SBA,
what's that?
Louisiana, the Small Business
Business
Administration.
social. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah, and there's a program that they're working with. It's like a internet platform that's called Digital Chalk, and
okay.
it's like a course that they make you sit through before you sit down and talk with the counselors, and it teaches you about how to properly run the business, how to strategize in order for you to still make money in business while you walk away from it.
So right here it's called Digital Chalk. The LMS.
Yeah. So they teach you whatever it is that you can do so you can have the ability to walk away from the business and still have it make money, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
It does, yeah, because you don't want to start a business and lose money.
Right. Or basically you don't want to like start a business and then turn it into another job that you constantly have to have your hands on around the clock.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. What? Oh shit, that's not what I meant to do. Like passive income, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, they basically just teach you how to think as a business owner and how
Mm.
to properly maximize your opportunity.
Oh, that's awesome, and you got a lot out of that.
I haven't finished it yet. I have
Mm.
one more module to complete, and then after that, You sit down and you talk with the counselor and you discuss your business plan, or they may help you develop a business plan if you don't have one,
Mm.
of how you can best take advantage of your opportunity.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah,
so you don't want to do this full time, but you would love to have it be something that does have a steady income, something as an extra a side
yeah.
hustle.
I'm one of these type of people. I would have to smoothly transition from the
Hmm.
job into music once the money starts properly coming in.
Yeah. No, and
If that makes sense.
oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like when I decided to become a full time musician with a son and a wife in one of the most expensive cities in the world, San Diego, coming home saying, "Hey, I got fired today. I guess I'm a full time musician." That was how I got into it, and that's not a great way because let me tell you, well, we had a yard sale. We made it, but we were selling shit out the front yard. And
Understood.
we did it though. We did it, and and luckily I was able to, figure it out. We were both able to figure it out rather quickly because we had to.
Yep.
That's one way to do it, but not the way to do it. I would say smooth transitions are always nice.
Yeah.
The Ty White approach, everyone.
Yeah.
Do you know who David Ramsey is? Have you ever heard of David Ramsey?
Yeah. The finance man, your wife talked about him in her stream
Yeah,
when she was covering financial literacy and
yeah,
getting rid of credit cards, as she said, get off the tit.
yeah. Get off the tit, and
Yeah.
that we're that's kind of what we've been doing. Although holiday season has kind of thrown us through a loop, but still, it's a really good program, and to pair something like that with a small business, because to have your finances together personally is such an important part of having your small business finances together as well, because it's like
Yep.
if one's going to hell and the other one's doing good, like that doesn't seem right, like you're trying to find that balance. So I don't know if anybody's ever interested in financial literacy. Definitely check out Dave Ramsey. I know he's connected with the church, so that like freaks people out, some people out. But I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
but
know
they provide a free opportunity. If somebody gives you something for free, take it.
exactly. It's like what's wrong with having knowledge? Like for some people who are just like I can't even deal with that because it's connected to Christianity or something. To me, is so stupid. Like you don't want to learn, like you just don't want to learn because it's connected to something that you don't agree with, like the theme of this entire podcast. It's like it's so stupid to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's
Yeah.
Christians are good people for the most part. It's like it's fine. It's like I just
Well,
be
unfortunately, I'm sorry.
no, don't be sorry. What'd you say?
I say, unfortunately, you can't force some people to think, or in other terms, you can't fix stupid.
you, you can't fix stupid. No, you cannot.
That's like if you're hungry and somebody's trying to hand you a big, big juicy hamburger and some fries, and you don't want to eat because it's coming from a Christian. It's like, what's
Right.
wrong with you? You still gonna starve?
Christian,
Yeah, dude.
yeah, exactly. Or in any other situation, it's like if you're a white supremacist and a black person's trying to give you a burger and you're starving, it's like, what do you? Oh, I can't. They're black. Oh God, like I'm gonna starve to death. Because that is so stupid. That's a good thought experiment, honestly. That whole scenario of accepting a juicy burger, like yeah, of course you would. So why wouldn't you in any other situation? Anyways, Ty, what's the what do you hope? What's the biggest accomplishment you hope to achieve through music?
I already have just obtaining peace.
Oh,
To be simple, because like I said, that was my original reason and my
mm-hmm.
main purpose of coming. It
Yeah.
just helped me. Since we were talking about balance, it helped me find balance.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes we just need that mental clarity and the ability to focus on that one thing that just helps us chill out and to want to be better people even on your worst day.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's a seminal album for you? What's an album that like just changed your entire life, like after hearing it and how you looked at music?
Any and everything Sade.
Dang! Look at, and you had that like just you had that on deck, like ready to go. You're
Yep.
like, shut hey, bitch. Oh man, that's great. What about that? What about that album sort of changed the way you looked at music?
Man, she's so chill.
Yeah.
She's so chill, and she's such a vibe, and and she looks good while she's doing it.
Like she has been hot for like just forever. She has just been gorgeous for like 50 years. Like it's ridiculous. Like you
She
just
don't miss, and that black don't crack, boy.
oh, let's go. Let's go. I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
Especially when you take care of the black, it don't crack.
You know what? And I want to thank my mom for my Latino non-cracks. Even though I'm holding in. I'm still holding in. I'd like to thank
You
my
doing all right?
mother
You doing
for
all
that.
right?
My dad when before he died, he looked tore up. He looked tore. He's a big white dude. He looked pretty hit. He looked pretty hit. But hey, he was still pops. Love him.
Mhm.
R.I.P. Pops. Uh, anyways, as we sort of come to the end of our conversation, I've been loving to ask people what's the best advice you've ever gotten.
The best advice that I've ever gotten?
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, that's a tough question.
I
It's like
know.
now that I think of it, I really, in reference to what? Help me narrow it down.
I mean, just any sort of life lessons that you've come into, full understanding, like from hearing it from somebody to understanding it. I don't know. Just in life in general, things that have gotten you through, advice or that's made sense to you and has you've followed through on anything.
Well, to keep it relative to our conversation, just do you and be you.
Hmm.
And if you have an opinion about something, tell the damn truth. Don't
Hmm.
try to please everybody. Don't worry about not being a popular opinion.
Yeah, that's good right there because that idea, because that's when you start holding yourself back. There's nothing sadder than the person who holds himself back, right? Like they're just, I mean, I guess it's sad when other people hold other people back, but when you have every opportunity to progress in this world and you hold yourself back, it's just bad news. Ty,
Differences is who we are.
yeah, Ty, is there anything else that you wanted to mention before we let you go today?
Nah, man, I think I've said enough today.
I've said enough. Everybody, please go and check out. If you want to just vibe, wait a second. Let's play a song. Let's play a song before we let you go. Let's play a freaking song so people can get a vibe. Is that okay with you?
Go for it.
All right. What do you want to play?
Anything that you like.
All right. Well, I was just playing some. Let's see. Let's check out Low Tide, y'all. We're gonna check out Low Tide. Um, by Ty White Beats, and we'll drop some. Wait, what happened?
I don't know, but that's a nice one.
You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay,
Have you heard that one before?
I don't know. Cause I've been just listening. I just putting on playlists. So I don't know like the names of albums or songs. I just been putting on playlists and just listening while I do stuff. So I'm sorry,
Cool.
I don't know the names of your songs, but I
All
definitely
good.
been vibing on them for a couple weeks now actually.
I
Uh,
appreciate it. But one thing I do want to add before I
please,
go
please.
is that you should share your music with the world. I think you're a brilliant musician.
Who me?
Yeah, I want to see a stream to where you're up there, you're killing it on the keys and rocking out on the guitar, and not just hanging with your wife, like your own little
I've done them.
concert.
I've done that before. That's
Oh,
how I started streaming. I started with interviews and then I would do like live loops and stuff. And I still do live loops. I
oh,
still
sweet.
do it.
Well, I'm behind in.
It's okay. It's all right. I'm not mad at you. Yeah, look, moving judgment. I still play the melodica. I'll jam over beats and stuff. Yeah, I a lot of music still in this channel, but yeah, I appreciate that though. I do appreciate your encouragement. Let's listen to Low Tide, and I'm gonna share the screen with you so you can check it out too, so you know what's going on. Hold on, let me go like this, and we'll share it. Boom. And this is off of tywhite.com or tywhitebeats.com, guys. And also Oh wait, this is Dark Curiosity. What just happened? Okay, we're gonna go with Low Tide, and then exclamation point Ty. If you guys want to go to her link tree, go and link up, go follow her on the social medias. If you're listening on the audio version, make sure you go in the show notes and follow your girl. She's out there making beats. If you want some beats for your music, hit her up. Maybe you can make a deal. All right, let's listen to Low Tide by Ty White Beats. Boom! There it is, yo.
Thank you for the highlight. Appreciate you.
Um, that was awesome and chill and vibey, and I really dig it. What's your? Oh, hold on, let me like stop sharing. What before you go, I know we said we are gonna end, but what's your DAW? What DAW do you like using?
I use Ableton,
Just Ableton?
and I learned how to mix in Pro Tools. It was a requirement at the school.
Oh, okay, okay. That's cool, man.
Hmm.
I love that you can mix and master your own beats and stuff. That's really amazing. What are some mastering plugins that you like?
I love the free uh what's the company? It's called Isotope,
Isotope,
and they
yeah.
have a mixing suite or little set that's called Ozone Elements,
Yes.
and I usually use that. A lot of times I'll line level on my own,
Mm.
but to like completely master the track, I use the master assistant to help me properly balance thing and cut out some of the frequencies
Mm.
and
Okay.
make it sound clean.
Oh,
But I'm
nice.
still working on becoming a better mastering engineer.
Yeah, you know what? There's nothing wrong with letting like some of the AI stuff do some of the heavy lifting.
Mhm.
I like those plugins that sort of clean up like crappy frequencies and stuff like that. That like what? Because what are you gonna do? You're gonna go through your EQ and you're gonna start belling out or scooping out stuff you don't like, and it's like it takes hours and hours and hours. So there's nothing wrong with letting fucking AI sort of take over some of those like more just menial tasks that you got to do, which is a huge part of mixing, of course. But still, it's like it's
Time
nice.
saver.
Go ahead, time saver.
It's
Yes,
a time saver when you're a one person show.
exactly, and especially because when you people who make music like you do, don't be lazy. Shut up, moving Dutchman. When oh, see, moving Dutchman. You know what? We're done. We're done. No, I can't. I forgot what I was gonna say, so I'm just gonna pretend like I'm mad. No, I don't know. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm so sorry that I came all spacey today. That kind of sucks, but I do appreciate the conversation and thank you so much. I appreciate it, Ty.
You're welcome. It was a good time.
I'm glad that you had a good time. Okay, everybody, please give Ty the biggest round of applause. Everybody, Ty White Beats. Go make sure you're following her on her socials and stay up to date with everything she's doing. Everybody, give her some love. Ty White Beats. Ty, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Take care now.
Bye. Ty White. Thank you, Ty White. Thank you, Ty White. You're cool. Thank you, Ty White. Thank you,